Great morning, Ron. I really got because I felt like they should have been all together. But the first is by Doug Smith. Team basis includes size, purpose, goals, skills, approach, and accountability. Paying rigorous attention to these is what creates the conditions necessary for team performance. And then the second one is building a culture in which people take accountability to deliver on its promises is hard work and can be difficult to accomplish. Only when every person is held accountable to themselves, their peers, and their shared responsibility can the impossible become possible. And that's Graham.
Powerful, powerful. Why did those quotes resonate with you? Let me mute. Why did those quotes resonate with you?
It's because we all have to take accountability. We all have a position, a job, a goal. So we have to take accountability for all of that. And if we all together as a team be accountable for ourselves, our co-workers, and the company itself, then we can do the impossible. What people think now is impossible, we will make possible. So that's why I felt like that this morning, taking accountability for this company, representing.
Absolutely. You're learning so much, and I just love it, right? Culture is something that's just very, very, very important. I didn't learn this until my later years. Literally I was running multiple sales offices and I didn't understand what it was or what it meant to actually build a culture. But a culture to me now is like forming Voltron. You remember that old cartoon, right? Where those Transformers, right? Transformers were separate and then they would come together to form Voltron, right? To form this one big machine. And that's like the culture of a company, right? Everybody isolated have their own skills, but then when we come together, it's Voltron. And it's just so important and for a company to increase, for a company to grow. So I love it. Thank you for that. Drop that inside of Telegram. Ron, you up? You're probably talking on mute and your screen is off.
Okay, unmute. Sorry. You know that I have to mute myself all the time now. You know that? Okay. Discipline. Closers' ears. Hearing clients out. Top closers listen intently, focusing on words as well as body language. When client is done talking, top closers pause while they formulate their next questions and answers. This simple strategy goes a long way towards showing your prospects that you're really listening to them. This careful listening makes your clients feel important, and that's how a top closer wants them to feel. Here are some strategies for improving your listening skills. Clear your mind of all other clients and any personal challenges when you're with a particular client. Develop the ability to keep quiet and let the client talk. Master the use of the planned pause to keep the client's attention. But you used to say that to the guys all the time and let the customer puke all over you. Listen to what his problem is.
Be grateful that they're even telling you their problem. These are key indicators that you actually have a sale, that you actually have a customer. It's not until you're actually able to do these things that you're actually going to be selling. If not, you're going to feel like you're forcing it. You're going to get a lot of cancels. You're going to be begging a lot. And I hate to see salespeople on their knees when all they have to do is be patient enough to listen to the customer. The client will always tell you what they need, but either you're not asking or you're not listening enough. But either way it go, it's humbleness and asking a question. It's humbleness and actually listening. So a lot of times all you need to do is be humble enough, right? So I love that. Thank you for that. Drop that inside of Telegram. We need that today. All right, guys, that does it for that portion of the call. Let's move on to the sales training. And right now we've been going over a lot dealing with remote managing. That's been helping us. So we're going to pick up where we left off. 1 second here while I share my screen with you. Team stats is where we left off. Keeping everyone coordinated. Designate team leaders and members. Let's move in.
One of the challenges in managing remote teams is keeping everyone coordinated. Especially in our team, there's 105 of us. So here are some tips on how to over communicate so that you can keep your teams coordinated. And be ready for over communication because it's important. Your email inbox is going to be full. Your text messages will be full. Your Slack, your Monday boards, all of these means by which you normally coordinate are going to be overflowing. But get ready for that because it takes a lot more to get your point across remotely than it does in person. So here are a few more tips. Number one, designate team leaders, department supervisors, some folks that are running teams so that you as a leader can communicate to those team leads and those team leads can relay the information down to those employees and staff members that they're responsible for. That way, they know that it's their responsibility to make sure that the orders or the coordination points or what's happening actually get through to those teammates. You can talk at people a lot, and they can be looking right at you and not hear a word you're saying. So it's really helpful for us to have team leaders and department supervisors who can take those messages and then make sure that their team members get all their questions answered and really understand all of the orders and the instructions that have been passed down. Number two, designate team members who report to those team leaders. You want to make sure that team leaders know who they're responsible for, and you want to make sure that the team members know who their team leader is. That way, that line of communication is very clearly established, and it helps you to speed up communication lines when you need to. One of the ways that we do this is we've established a call tree. Those guys at the top are the leaders of their groups. I call the leaders and the leaders call the guys under them. This is something we had learned from working with hurricanes, because when technology fails, power goes out, very often we still have cell phones. That's why it's called a call tree. So have a communication plan. Make sure you know who your team leaders are and make sure they know who their team members are. And lastly, make sure the team members know who their team leaders are so that communication can flow up the line the same way that it flows down when they run into situations they need help with. Then, as a manager or a leader, relay information along those lines, and that'll help you keep your team coordinated.
All right, all right.
One of the challenges in managing remote teams is keeping everyone coordinated. Especially in our team, there's 105 of us. So here are some tips on.
All right, guys, what did we learn today?
Chain of command, okay? Just like an army. Gotta have the soldiers, gotta have the sergeant, captain, general. You the general. General Sims.
No, I think you general.
How's that, Mom? How's that, Charlene? General Sims. And you and me, just sergeants. That's it.
You know, this is something, Mommy, that you're probably familiar with. I mean, you've been in the Army, you know, served
Right.
war.
Sure.
You know, what do you think about this?
I agree with Ron. It is similar to the military because you do have a chain of command. And I mean, they're so strict about chain of command. If you break that chain of command, they won't talk to you if you haven't talked to the person prior that you were supposed to talk to. So just like say when one of the guys that work up under Wilson, well, when they bypass Wilson and come straight to you, that's disrespecting Wilson as the leader. If they got a problem, Wilson should be the one to come to you and tell you what's going on with the team. And then at that point, once it gets up to you, then that's your decision on how you want to address the situation. But no one should be able to just jump ranks and just do what they want to do when they want to do it. I just think it's all about coordinating, getting the information out, letting them know what they should report and who they should report it to.
Right. And remember, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
Mm.
But you know, you can remove a link and hook the chain back together too.
Yep.
Let me ask you, what did you take away from that? What did she say about managing remotely and how it pertains to the communication being key and the hierarchy of the communication?
Right. You have to get used to the communication. You have to follow through with that as well. She said you're gonna be flooded with emails. You're gonna be flooded with text messages. Your phone is gonna be constantly ringing. And I already experienced a lot of that. So I understand exactly what she's talking about when she's the flood of everything. But you know, that's how you get the information out. That's how everybody, you have to communicate. Everybody has to communicate and communicate on the same accord. That's just like anything that I send out, I will CC into you. But now since we have HubSpot, I can put it on there and you can go and look up and see what I did with that person yourself. So I love HubSpot so far
Yeah,
since I learned the tools that we got available to us.
absolutely. Agreed, agreed, and agreed. All right.